Assalamu alaikum. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. Alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Rabbina atina fid dunya hasanatan wa fil akhirati hasanatan wa qina azaban nar. Rabbi shrah li sadri wa yassir li amri wahlul 'uqdatam min lisani yafqahu qawli waj'al li waziran min ahli Haruna akhi ushdud bihi azri. واشركوا في أمري كي نسبحك كثيرا ونذكرك كثيرا إنك كنت بنا بصيرا ربي لا تذرني فردا وأنت خير الوارثين ولا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله العلي العظيم وصلى اللهم على محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين والحمد لله رب العالمين. Welcome, dear friends. Inshallah, we will continue with our discussion from the 31st word, and it's also the 19th letter, as the author in his work about the miracle of the splitting of the moon, which we started last week. And these were the two verses that the author was discussing. The hour is near and the moon is split. But if they see a sign, they turn away and say, this is evident magic. So the disbelievers, the ones who were denying the message, so they were shown the miracles, and then they said that, well, this is nothing but magic, right? So we kind of touched upon the first point, and we kind of corrected as well some of the translation, basically in terms of that there were a group of people that were to whom the message was conveyed, and then they denied the message, and then they were shown this miracle of the splitting of the moon. All right. And then they basically claim that this is just magic that you are doing. So we'll go to the second point for today.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
So we said that miracles were needed for the contemporary of the prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, because revelation came in phase by phase, so it was needed to help people take the messenger of God seriously.
Yep, that's what I understood, yeah.
And so as far as we are concerned, I mean, it doesn't really apply to us, but like, what do I do of this? Like, all right, I think we should read up more, but what I'm trying to get at is, for me, I can say that these miracles were not magic. I mean, I'm just trying to make it applicable to me. And I have a few more comments, but I don't know if I should spill it out right now, or we should wait a little bit to go further. So here's my question to you, bro. How do you make this applicable to you? What do I do? What do we do with with this information that about the miracles?
So, for example, these verses that are mentioning this, right? The hour is near and the moon is split in that sense, or how do we apply this to our lives?
So for us, okay, that makes sense, mashallah. So for us, we just focus in on these verses. So pretty much when miracles are brought up, and I'm also talking about miracles mentioned in the Quran, like the miracle of in chapter Maryam or section Maryam. I mean, I don't know how to interpret those verses where.
Yes. So to me, I make sense of them that they were definitely necessary at that time to show to the people, the one who were there witnessing, like the first.
Yeah, that I understand. I understand it too.
Just so that it, as you said, that it makes that, hey, this person must be taken seriously, not take him lightly, but whatever he's saying, take him seriously. That he is definitely employed because he's not doing the miracle by himself. He never claimed that. None of the prophets actually claimed that, right? But
Okay.
in our day and age, it just highlights, yes. So we also have to pay attention to the message of the messenger. Like we also need to not take him lightly in a way. I mean, I would take it in that sense as well, because at that
Mm-hmm.
time definitely was needed. But I mean, of course, I was not there to witness that miracle, but I witness the creation right now in my
Mm-hmm.
life.
Mm-hmm. So witnessing creation right now would also, for me, confirm the splitting of the moon, for example, because if you look at that verse, the hour is near and the moon is split. So the split part, I don't know, it's whatever that it says here, one shakka in Arabic, that can be interpreted with the different phases of the moon that I observe. I'm not sure.
Okay, let's hear from Brother Ali. Shall we?
Exactly. Nursi explains it beautifully, actually. It really helps me understand what am I going to do with these miracle narrations, since I'm not going to benefit from it because I haven't not observed it. Why should I bother about the narrations? Nursi says, yes, we should bother about the narrations because narrations point out that the prophet demonstrated a physical miraculous nature or reality of creation. For example, when Shaq al-Qamar is under discussion now, Qamar split. And as you mentioned on Maryam's miracles, Maryam's miracles also are mentioned in the Quran, and we have to take notice of them when shaqqa al-qamar, or also when shaqqa as-sama, in shaqqa as-sama, وإذا النجوم طمست وإذا الشمس كورت. All these verses describe that the universe itself cannot sustain its own existence. So, for example, the best example that we can understand comfortably and extend it to other miracle narrations in the Quran or Hadith narrations. Now we understand that messages in front of us, we can study the messages teaching me that the whole universe is a miracle. So, for example, study the birth of a child. Do you think that in order for a baby to come into existence, really father and mother themselves are the agents who create the baby? Or they are arranged and the creator does it in this way. This is his way of creating. So we understand that, of course, Jesus is the example, is the result of God's own choice, the Creator's own choice, not the choice or power of father and mother. So we have to benefit it from these miracles that narrated to us. Moses' staff also. What does it mean? I'm not seeing Moses' staff, but it says God creates it with on my demand, that when it is necessary to create, or it depends on God. But we understand that all the demonstrations of the magicians were defeated by the staff of Moses. Now, staff of Moses represents what? God's miraculous way of creation now. So I can see, as Nursi beautifully explains, for example, each root of the tree breaks through the stone, and it is not the root which is breaking, but this is the way of God's creation. So Solomon's miracle, Noah's miracle, Solomon's miracle, flying in the air, yes, of course, flying in the air made it available by the creator of this gravity and air, atmosphere relationship. It is well arranged. It is arranged by the creator. The sheep example of most Noah, also the same. Who is lifting the ship? The way it is created, because water cannot arrange this balance, this order, cannot arrange by itself that I'm going to be so liquid, but at the same time allow some hard matters can go through me. It's not within its capacity. All God's creation. So what we are going to do with this miraculous narrations of in the Quran, mentioned in the Quran and Hadith, demonstrates that it is not the prophets are doing this. For example, dead body is given life in the narration of the Quran on the demand of Jesus, but it is God's creation. So who can give dead body life to dead body? Only the one who creates this universe, who creates life. So it invites me where this life comes, where does this life come from? So when I study the message now and see the universe as witnessing to it, because miraculous narrations of miracles of the prophets, all the prophets, are related to the type of creation out there. So I have to combine the way the things are created and the way the Quran teaches me how I should really look at the universe, how it is created or being created, and understand that these miraculous narrations of the miracles are really inviting me to study the universe, and you will see the same things there happening now. God's action is happening now in a miraculous way. So we can combine it by the narrations of the miracles in the Quran and Hadith, encouraging me connect the message of the Quran. Don't leave it as a theoretical things, abstract notions, but practically apply it in the creation of the universe. You will understand, and also in your own life. Thank you very much.
Alhamdulillah, that helps. So just reiterating pretty much what was shared is the miracles that are mentioned is for me to recognize how the creation of anything is miraculous, like how things are coming into existence is miraculous. So it's pretty much like you were saying, like a motivation for me to reflect upon creation and conclude its source of existence. Alhamdulillah, this is clear. Just double checking on something. Again, just I like to put myself in the shoes of like back in the days. I mean, I know there was a little distinction made. So people who heard the heard the message and then were present there. So pretty much it's really, either you're confirming or denying. Some denied and some heard it from other people, I mean, and the whole idea was really, hey guys, wake up, this is a messenger of God, take the message seriously. So now, as far as we're concerned, like if you hear these miracles, so just let's take the miracle of like Moses staff, for example. I mean, should I even get, I mean, I guess it's for me, I'll have to interpret what does staff represent for me. Or yeah, what does staff represent for me? But like, I think we should leave it at that. But I'm just also wondering about other miracles mentioned. I don't know, maybe I'm just wondering because maybe I'm so indoctrinated with things around. Like, I think maybe the type of civilization we live in, everything is just, it's just so prevalent. Like, like people, I don't know, maybe the way things are presented, a staff or somebody having a magic wand, it's just, you know, people make fun of it. Like maybe now, back then, people didn't have access to anything, so it was like, whoa, this is some serious stuff. Otherwise, now you're like, oh yeah, I mean, I guess what I'm trying to get at is we've become so desensitized to any of these phenomenon. But that's not my concern. My concern is taking these and interpreting them in terms of what does this represent for me and how can I interpret that into taking everything as miraculous as possible.
That is why Christianity is based on faith, as they call it. How about the proof of what you are saying, that Jesus is the creator of the miracles? Jesus is going to save. Jesus is God's shadow on earth, God's aspect on earth, whatever interpretation. If you ask them, they say it is a matter of faith. Why? Because primarily they attributed the miracle narrations of Jesus to Jesus himself. That is why they cannot bring evidence from the universe, because they cannot read their text alongside with the witnessing of the universe. Why? Because they said Jesus is the creator of his miracles. That is the main mistake is there. Quran says, no, God is the creator of the miracles. Prophet cannot do it at all. A man cannot do anything at all by themselves. This is miraculously demonstrated in their hands, but hinting to me, that's what I am going to learn from miracle narrations, hinting to me that in creation you will find that this is a witnessing. The universe is witnessing that everything is created by God, including this miracle, including the subject of this miracle as well. Flying in the air, God's creation. Going through the water without drowning, God's creation. Without father, the baby is God's creation. What is in the act of creation? God has no share at all. And the Quran very severely condemns that God has a share in creation. Impossible. Sorry. Father has a share in creation. Impossible. God is the one. God is the one. All these miracles are waiting for us to be understood that these are all God's actions. That is why miracles of Muhammad is wrong. Miracles of God manifested on the demand of Muhammad in an unaccustomed way in his time. Miracles of Jesus mentioned in the Quran as well. But this is what the people around Jesus needed to see, that he is employed. We studied this a lot, emphasized it on this side a lot. That is why I don't mention now, because they have to be convinced that they should take this message seriously. But what I am left now with, all these miracle narrations of miracles are created by God. So what does it mean? The baby is creation, dead body is given life, curing the illness. All these things are God's creation. that is only way to study the universe and the message together, supporting each other. That the message says how to read the universe. The universe says what I mean in my silent message. That the Quran is the message is correct. I am the witness. I am the witness to it. So this combination is possible only not to fall into the mistake of Muhammad's miracles, Jesus's miracles. No. So we have to be careful what we mean when we say the miracles of Muhammad or Jesus. Created by God, created by God. It means the creation side belongs to God, which is what manifested in the universe. So inshallah, if we have our mind set, this is the problem, I have to solve this problem and think about it. I couldn't find it. After really shaping the problem, being aware what is the problem, bring it up here, let us talk about it. Without thinking, no, it doesn't happen, because we have to think about it. Where the problem is still not solved for me, present it here. Thank you very much. And then we can deal with it, inshallah.
Alhamdulillah, thank you so much. This was super helpful. So focusing on really the creation side, that it belongs to God. The miracle itself belongs to God, but entities or creatures of the universe are employed to manifest and demonstrate it. Thank you. I have another query based on, since you brought up the whole piece about faith and belief. I know you mentioned it yesterday as well, in Saturday morning's discussion about how we need to expound what we mean by belief, and you said it's more than faith, because right, I mean, faith in terms of your, I mean, the way I'm just gonna say out the way I understand, like, it's really putting your trust or your hope in a source of existence, a divine plan, a creator of the universe, taking you on a journey. So I just was wondering what was wrong. I mean, you said something about the word fate. Did you say faith in the creator of the universe is not enough, and then we need to expand further with it? Can you please elaborate a little bit more on that? Because to me, I mean, it's really, what does the word faith means? Synonymous to satisfaction, putting my security into something.
Yeah, I never said faith. I said it is a matter of faith. Believing in God, believing in Jesus is going to save me. Jesus is one appearance of God, one aspect of God, is a matter of faith without evidence. Faith means, in the Quran, iman means being secure under the witnessing of a palpable physical experience, logical conclusion as a result of the investigation of this universe. But Christians say, don't look for evidence. Take it as a faith. What does it mean? Since I am told this by some holy people, it must be true. I don't know, but I must accept it. Why? Well, because, no, those people, but some knowledgeable people told me this. This is not belief. This is not really what faith, iman, should be. But they use faith. It is a matter of faith to accept that Jesus has some sort of divine quality. So it is a matter of faith that Jesus demonstrated himself, created miraculous actions. That is for Christian theology. Nothing wrong with faith, nothing wrong with belief if you are convinced. But in English, within this Western culture, faith means not using reasoning, not having any evidence, but accepting it because some holy people told me that. That's it. That is hijacked. This word is hijacked. We have to be careful. That's what we should be aware of. We have to ask if someone, even a Muslim, says, I believe in, okay, what is your evidence? What is your reasoning? What is your conclusion? But of course, we are not here to examine people. I have to apply it to myself. Thank you.
Jazakallah khair. This was very helpful. Alhamdulillah.
All right, any other thoughts by anyone? Okay. Okay, so we'll read the second point. The majority of the most illustrious scholars, like Saad al-Din Taftazani, declared that, like the Prophet, had satisfied the thirst of a whole army with water flowing from his fingers. And the whole congregation had heard a dry wooden post against which Muhammad, peace and blessing be upon him, had learned, while delivering the sermon, weep on being separated from him. The splitting of the moon too was mutawatir. That is, it had been transmitted by numerous authorities. That is to say, these events had been passed down from group to group, forming such a vast congregation that a conspiracy to lie would have been impossible. Like the appearance of the famous Halley's comet 1,000 years ago, that had been unanimously reported, and the existence of the island of Ceylon was certain due to anonymous reports, although we had not seen it. And so it is unreadable to. Hey, Faria, can you read this, please?
Sure. What's up? Where?
Oh, here.
Okay, inshallah.
Okay, inshallah. Thank you.
Yep. And so it is unreasonable to foster baseless doubts in such certain witnessed matters. It is enough that they are not impossible. And as for the splitting of the moon, it is quite as possible as a mountain splitting with a volcanic eruption. Yeah, this makes sense pretty much in terms of, sometimes how we hear news about, oh, legend has it, 100 years ago in this town, right? So the whole idea is that if it's something, it would be not out of reasoning just to say, oh, I don't think so, this happened. People find fossil fuels and so on. So if there's evidence, then I think that should suffice in terms of proving that it happened. But like, what's the whole point? Whether it happened or not, what do I make out of the understanding of something? I don't know. And so, Roy, you back? Anyhow. So the second point is pretty much drawing our attention to another famous miracle we hear in the Islamic culture about how the Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, was able to feed a whole army just with limited water supply. It really tells you something miraculous event. And so I guess the whole point for us would be just when we drink water in general, how is our how does it quench our thirst, like this whole phenomenon? That's something to ponder over. And also it has been transmitted by numerous authorities. So I guess, news just spread out. So, I mean, it's pointless to argue over things of the nature of, oh, this really happen, or this did it happen this way, or maybe it did not happen. Like really, what's the point of arguing over such things? Rather, hey, water, the creation of water is a miracle. The creation of my thirst is a miracle. The whole quenching that happens with the relationship of me and the water and the tongue and everything that's happening within the palate of a tongue, it's really miraculous. So that's pretty much what I have to share. And Nursi mentioned something about Halley's Comet, I guess, something that happened 1,000 years ago. So he's saying, like, just how we talk about current events or something that happened within an epoch or a generation. You're like, oh yeah, no, I wasn't born back then. But the whole point is, like, what do I make out of these for myself? So that's me. But anybody wants to share something here? Maybe.
Yeah, Brother Ali has his hand up. Thank you, Fariha.
No worries. My goodness, I didn't see that.
Now, what I would like to say, how do I have to believe that Jesus really practiced this miracle? Do I have to believe that Mary really had the son Isa without any father? Or the same thing, Muhammad alayhi salatu wasalam, had these miracles narrations really happened? And Nursi says, look, it is translated by many people. That is one thing. The second thing is, since they say God created it, God created it, the creator of the universe is the agent. Creator of the universe is responsible for it. First of all, whether it happened or not, I have to say, I'm thinking within myself, can God do this? Look at the universe. Universe says, yes, definitely. It is the only one who can do everything anyways. This news I get from the universe. So, and Muhammad says, it is not me. God does it, not me. Maryam says, it's God. I don't know. I was also surprised like you did because I'm not accustomed with it. So as long as they are relating to God, I say I have as the text underlined here. It is unreasonable to foster baseless doubt in such certain witnessed matters. It is beautifully underlined it and meaningfully underlined it. So we have to think that since people say we have seen it and there is no reasonable base to reject it, it must be so. And also, we know practically that the people around the prophet, without seeing many having many revelation, it means many verses, not many evidence, not a long-term education, how they decide to really die for the sake of the prophet's claim. Humanly impossible, because they have no evidence. And it is not like Hitler's SS army, because it is the proud of their nation, national proud. People are crazy about their family proud, national proud, or status proud, fame proud, celebrities. Look at them, they think they are gods themselves. So the message of the prophet, all the messages of the prophets are the same. You are nothing. You are a created being. You have no power of your own. So you have no superior position. Oh, I'm not gaining anything. I'm losing all my false claims, whatever. I didn't know that it was false. After learning the message, I will realize. But during this process of uh, passage, they need some sort of extra ordinary for their time, extraordinary demonstrations of creation by God to attract their attention. That must be the reason why they devoted their life, to the message of the prophet and protect the prophet. So we say, oh, there must be something extra for these people. They didn't have the opportunity I had today, that I am studying the universe and happening and seeing that everything is really, really miraculously created. They didn't have this. And also, I have the whole message of the Quran now after studying it under the witnessing of the universe. I know now how I should really study the universe and the Quran hand in hand with each other. After that, I am convinced, and still I cannot put my life on for the protection of the message of the Prophet. I am not that much devout, although I have all my evidence. How they were successful. But they say, oh, people may be crazy about an ideology. Yeah, but it's ideologies, the worldly ideologies inflate people's ego. Whereas the message of the prophet deflates human ego, really puts me in humiliation before God, requires me to put my head on the floor. But don't you see the film of SS, Hitler's army? Their head is up in the air, in the sky, proud of their nation. That's why they die for the NATO, so for the sake of nation. Nowadays, what do they say? The army of, for example, U.S. Army, for our super nation, we are going to protect proud of our nation. Ego, ego, ego. Quran says just the opposite. There must be something, definitely. Even there was no narrations of the miracles, we would say Muhammad must be given some sort of signs that they were really convinced about it. The first, I'm talking about the first generation. Second generation is done, no miracle. It's over. For example, Moses. What the Pharaoh asked Moses, what is your sign? But Moses said, look, you claim that I am the owner of this land. I am the Lord of this land. Look, there is a truth out there. The whole universe has its owner. The Quran demonstrates this. But still, Pharaoh didn't believe. The whole universe does say, Lord, I am the Lord of Egypt. What does it mean? Yeah, tomorrow you are going to die. Which kind of Lord are you? The Lord of the universe, the owner of the universe. Submit yourself to the owner of the universe. The clear verse, if I remember, let me remember this. This hadith Musa. اذهب إلى فرعون إنه طغى فقل هل لك إلى أن تزكى اهديك إلى ربك فتخشى فأراه الآية الكبرى فكذب بعصا ثم عصى وأدبر. There is a verse, but I couldn't remember. Look, I am calling you that you have to accept your Lord. Come on, Suhail, are you available? Find it out, this verse. I'll teach you your Lord. Let me guide you to acknowledge your Lord. Yeah, Suhail.
Assalamualaikum. Yeah, I can find a good.
Sorry?
Yes, I'll take a look for it.
Yeah, please, when you find, share us in chat box, and Asim can share it on the. So, but still he didn't believe. He didn't believe still. Then he said, what is your sign? And Moses demonstrated miracle stuff, became dragon. And his wife became, his hand became suddenly as if it's spreading or really emanating light. For example, so we should understand that miracles are needed for those people who don't have the opportunity as we have now. That is the summary of what we have to pay attention to. We need the narrations of the prophet in order to understand how the prophet was successful. Otherwise, we will say, what this man did to them so that they were crazily around it, we wouldn't know. Alhamdulillah, we hear the narrations of the miracles. That makes sense. Thank you. وَإِهْدِيَكَ إِلَى رَبِّكَ فَتَخْشَى.
So pretty much the message must be very powerful, even though it's coming down phase by phase. I think another part in Nursi's writing, we read somewhere where it really transformed people's life. So like you were saying, deflation of the ego versus inflation of the ego. So I think real time transforming humanity, that hence people took the message seriously.
What was it, brother? Oh, 7919. Okay, thank you. وَأَهْدِكَ إِلَى رَبِّكَ فَاخْشَعْ. And let me guide you to your Lord, so you would fear. فَتَخْشَى.
Yes, so your Lord. He said, I am the Lord. Moses said, your Lord. You have a Lord. You are not the Lord. You need a Lord.
All right. So his miracle was used for this. I mean, God's miracle to show Pharaoh.
I mean, he didn't believe. That's what I mean. He didn't believe.
Right.
He wanted something physically experiential. And God gave the miracles, created the miracles, so that he would not have any other excuse at all. Because he may, I mean, that is human defense. He may say, I didn't have the evidence because I didn't have the message altogether and have the time to study the message and the universe. No, there was no such thing.
Right. So he needed like an extraordinary evidence.
Yeah, they need it.
Yeah.
I
Okay.
think today we talked methodologically very important matters today.
Yeah.
Inshallah,
And
some may hear it. So they are very, I believe these are very precious, not because I said so, but really it makes sense to everyone, any human being, if unless they are biased.
so he said for us like these miracles. So the first recipients how did they believe, basically, right? So they needed miracles in a way, or to believe in the message of the prophet in a way, right?
Yeah, that is why we need the narrations of the miracles in the Quran and in Hadith narrations. That is why also Quran narrates the miracles. That is one point. Another point, miracles are referred to God or to prophets themselves. In Christianity, to prophet himself, then belief became a matter of acceptance. That's it. Why? The holy people said so. But in the Quran, no. Look at the universe and see the universe as created by God. And this God is the one who has absolute qualities and he can create it. And the Prophet Muhammad says, Jesus says, it is not me who created it, but it is the creator of the universe created it because you need it in that circumstances. That is why we have to be very careful saying that Muhammad's miracles. No, we have to be very careful what we mean by it. The miracle is created at the hand of Muhammad. So, bi'iznihi, the Quran narrates Jesus' miracles, all bi'iznih. It means with his permission. He willed it to create. He willed it to create.
Are there verses that say or that specified where the prophet is saying, hey, this is not my miracle, but God's miracle? Because, I mean, just to discern the idea of where this miracle is coming from. I'm sure there may be, right? Verses that do mention.
Yeah. It is so obvious in the narration of the Quran, says, when they asked him to show a miracle, come on, make up a message from your creator, from your God. This is there's a verse mentioning this. Made up something. Where was it? And he says, no, it is on God's will, nothing for me. It's not from me at all. When they ask miracles, usually Quran says they are asking you to demonstrate miracle or to tell them or ask God to send them some sort of calamities from heaven so that you will understand. Or let the angel come and give you the paper. We have to see it in our eyes. For example, and the answer is, Prophet, come and do it. No, Prophet says, I don't know. It's not on me. I have no idea. And the Quran says, leave them to me, and doesn't create the miracles on their demand. So it will be something like the Muhammad is doing himself, but unexpectedly it happens. Unexpectedly. Muhammad doesn't know either, alayhi salatu wassalam. Jesus doesn't know. So
I have a question. Was the prophet challenged about his prophecy, as in being the messenger of God, or was he challenged about, hey, if you claim to be the messenger of God, show us that you directly communicate with your creator so we can see this proof?
but he needs the proof that two questions are the same thing. We have to combine them together. Now they say, if you say whatever is true in kuntum sadiqin, so demonstrate it to us. And Prophet's answer is, إِنَّمَا الْعِلْمُ عِنْدَ اللَّهِ وَإِنَّمَا أَنَا نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ. Well, all the knowledge of hereafter or calamities or anything is with God, nothing to do with me. I'm just reminding you. That's it. Be careful. Well, I'm not the agent, simply put it. I am not the agent. So, Prophet himself doesn't act at all as far as the miracles are concerned, as far as the message is received from God is concerned. It says only, I am just waiting what God reveals to me, and what I'm just waiting what God creates. I am not the agent. I am not the agent. All of his life is this, clearly. Let me find this ayah as well.
Is this the one, Brother Ali? وَقَالُوا لَوْلَا أُنزِلَ عَلَيْهِ آيَاتٌ مِّن رَبِّهِ قُلْ إِنَّمَا الْآيَاتُ عِندَ اللَّهِ وَإِنَّمَا أَنَا نَذِيرٌ مُبِينٌ. And yet they say, why have no miracle signs ever been bestowed upon him from on high by his sustainer? Say, miracles are in the power of God alone.
Exactly. This is what, who translated it? Muhammad said, yeah, the others don't say this clearly. They are confused with other things. So,
I'm but a plain warner, yes.
yeah, but the translating, why have not miraculous signs ever been bestowed upon him from on high? It means nuzul, coming down. But the others maybe, do you have another translation? Show me. Down, go down. Oh, only one translation? No, the same ayah by different translators. Same ayah by different translators. I don't know, didn't I tell you about this?
I have a few other translations, Mustafa.
Islamic awakening, Islamic awakening, awakened, Islam awakened. Don't you have this link? It's very interesting. You will find 25, 30 translations different.
Okay, yeah. So this is one from Mustafa Khattab. If only some signs had been sent down.
Okay.
It's interesting. I can see how these translations can be problematic. Like that one, signs are only with Allah. Like, what does it mean? No
Portent
way does it means
signs,
that
for example.
I'm not the agent.
Yeah, signs are in this context, everything. But Assad's translation is correct here in this kind of. Yeah, but chase from there. Follow, follow. Underneath, go.
29, what was it?
It was right. It was right.
229, 50.
Islam awakened, hit there. Yeah. Now go down. No. You are on the wrong side. I think the first time you are using it. So, no. Just go to the top and look, scroll down. Yeah, look how many translations. Signs and signs. Again, signs.
Yep, oops.
When you touch them,
Yeah, if I click on it, it goes somewhere else.
So many of them. So go down quickly. You will see.
Yeah, there are a lot. Yeah.
Yeah, many examples that we can find.
They're controversial also.
No. They name it, but really, that is the bias of the administrators of this page. They may be, they may not be. Okay, go down. Still there are. Look, still there. Or there is a set. One of them said, for example, this Mohsin Han, very Wahhabi one. What did they say? Sign again, sign. Somebody said up the top.
Sorry.
No, inshallah, you will get used to it.
Yeah.
Signs of punishment. For example, look, we have to be very careful. Now, get down upon the signs. These are non-Muslims. Sign Orientalist. Let me see Orientalist. Let me see Orientalist. Yeah. One of them said, good, convincing sign. MashaAllah. That is,
I wonder who's classifying them as Orientalist and versus all this. So you're saying the website administrators are classifying them as such.
no, but non-Muslims are correct. But saying controversial, this administers ideas. Go up a little bit, up, 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 up. Yeah. Now, go a bit more up. Now, these are very famous Orientalists. They understood science, sign. Dawood is also the same Christian. Sign, that's it. They all said sign. But sign has many meanings. But only Assad apparently made it clear that they asked miracles. In this context, yes, miracles. It seems to be, to my understanding. No.
So there's one. And this one. Let's see. Okay.
Okay. Inshallah, this studying the Nur, Risale-i Nur with
The Quran.
and is beautiful. All right.
Alhamdulillah, thank you. Okay, so any other thoughts on the second point? So it's unreasonable to foster baseless doubts in such certain witness matters, basically that are already mentioned by many people, as if they witnessed it.
Oh. Now, can you check this ayah? Yeah, for example, 349. Yeah, now, did you get it? Yeah. So look at this.
And
I
making
have come to you.
Mhm.
No, I have come to you with a sign from your Lord. I make for you a bird from clay, breathe into you, and it will become a real bird by Allah's will. By Allah's will again, heal people by Allah's will. So that's it. By Allah's will. This is missed in Christian theology because they wanted to uplift the value of Jesus himself and made it a divine being.
Yeah, Bismillah, yeah.
Biiznillah, yes. Biiznillah. Inshallah, we have to be careful while we are reading the verses like this.
Pay attention to that. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Inshallah. Okay. Okay, so we can stop here. Any other comments by anyone? Inshallah. Yeah, it was very good actually to reflect on these things, for me at least. So Hale, go ahead.
Um, Just these are just my personal thoughts about that verse. Uh, about the moon splitting. I've just been thinking about it since not sure how when it was initially studied, but it's interesting. Like the verb that's used, if you go back to the verse in Shaq al-Qamar, is passive. So it's at least the way I translate it is that the hour has come near, has approached while the moon has split. So because like yeah, اقتربت الساعة وانشق القمر. So I for part of me thinks like I feel like it could be translated the hour has come near in the while, because what can be like while can be also interpreted as while the moon has split. Um, so maybe it's referencing something not necessarily of the past either, because it's passive in that it doesn't even mention Muhammad necessarily or who is doing the splitting, but maybe the moon splitting or it having been split, whatever that means, whether in the past or in the future, is supposed to be like a veil or a sign, so to speak, to something about the temporary nature of the world. Um, so whether it's referencing Muhammad, though, doesn't reference him, but um, you know, referencing something, you know, to come or something that is happening. Maybe like I was looking up the definition of like in shaqqa or shaqqa, and it comes up as like it can mean like cleave or split or but maybe it also means to plow. So maybe it's referencing human beings going to the moon or tailing the moon or something of that nature. And the hour has come near while the moon has been split or tilled or cultivated or something of that nature. So I just find it interesting because the verb used is not an active verb; it's passive, and it doesn't give the actor or doesn't give the subject of who is doing the splitting. So um, so those are just my two thoughts. I could be wrong, but that's just what I found interesting.
Yeah, so my first hunch would be like the owner of the universe who is doing this, basically, who is doing it. So there's all the signs that we see around us, but you're kind of, yeah, doesn't give the agent or, yeah, you're right in that sense. Any other comments or thoughts?
Well, that's how the Quran pretty much speaks, and that's why we work on the methodology. For example, when it talks about Shams will Qamar, like, hey, whoever you are as the reader, ponder over this, ponder over the sun, or ponder over the moon. So I think it's really drawing our attention to question the source of existence of anything, which really makes us conclude an absolute source of existence, like going through the whole what Brother Ali was sharing earlier in terms of getting evidence and witnessing the universe to conclude something. I mean, that's how the speaker is introducing himself to us and going back to what we discussed also yesterday, which was profound. In terms of starting with, I mean, really questioning existence and then getting to the conclusion of an absolute source of existence. It was interesting with the analogy of the letter. So you receive a letter, you always look at the sender, but like, okay, this is the sender, but then you have to open and then read what the sender is saying. So I think that was profound, at least. So just wanted to share that.
Before we close today's discussion, can you go back to the text? Yeah, the last point, last sentence. And as for the splitting of the moon, it is quite as possible as a mountain splitting with a volcanic eruption. Look at this logic here. The Quran is telling me by saying that when shakkal qamar, it is not surprising by the creator of qamar, or moon, or by the creator of a mountain. Don't you see that mountain splitting with a volcanic eruption, his creation? Why not? It is not possible, it cannot happen to the moon or another galaxy. You are seeing it in front of your eyes, splitting it. The way he creates demonstrates the truthfulness. Why do you find it somehow doubtful to accept, or you have doubt to accept and confirm this message? The nature of it demonstrates it. So the nature of the creation, the way the creation is taking place, demonstrates that always sa'ah, promised moment in the context of the Quran. It means the universe will come to an end. As your life will come to an end, universe life also will come to an end. This sa'a is applied to everything. Everything has a sa'a. The moment its existence within the conditions of the universe ends. It is applicable to an atom up to the universe altogether, definitely include this human being in it. The witnessing is this mountain splitting with a volcanic eruption. Do you see that? It is possible, it's making it in front of your eyes. This reasoning and bringing the present day evidence is amazing. That this Nursi is really always demonstrates with a visible, palpable examples and bases his argument on it. Thank you.
Thank you. Or the earthquake, the earth splitting in a way a little bit. Yeah, all these things that we experience.
Earthquake is also called by the substructure of the under the water. Substructure of the earth is cluster, if you like. It is cluster of upper cover. It means the liquid in the beginning, in the center, and starts coming harder and harder to the towards the outer part of the earth. So this part also has cracks and from time to time splits. That is the اقتربت وانشق القمر example of it. We are experiencing now. Alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you, everyone, for your contributions.
So as I think the Suhail's comment was precious. The hour is not near, not and the moon is split. No. When moon is split, which is possible you can see it, hour also is possible, you will expect it. The one who splits the qamar demonstrates that hour also will come and the universe will be destroyed by the creator who creates it in an order or with an order. Why not to create it without an order?
All right. Any follow-ups or any thoughts, Suhail? Anything?
No, that was a interesting comment because as Dr. Ali was saying, in that moment, there's every moment, I guess, no matter if you see it or not, but you see the hour like and the splitting. So That's the most important aspect, because it looks to something beyond or beyond the thing itself.
Right. Thank you. All right. Okay, so we'll close here, inshallah. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Subhanaka la ilma lana illa ma 'allamtana. Innaka anta alimul hakim. Wa akhiru da'wana alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Bi hurmati suratul Fatiha. Thank you, everyone. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. Thank you, everyone. Inshallah, see you next time.
Jazakallah khair. Assalamu alaikum.